Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We've got a special guest today. If you can see her in the background,
we can.
My girl Winnie is here with us. If you missed my last video or if you don't follow me on Instagram, I adopted a new pup. Her name is Winnie. She is 6 years old and she is a queen. I love her so much. She's perfect and she will likely be in all of my videos at some point. It could be a side, a leg, an ear. I don't know. But if you want more of her, I post her every day, mostly on Instagram, but especially on Wednesday. I started a Winnie Wednesday because she deserves a spotlight. Now for the real reason you came here. If you also missed my last video, you may not have heard that Scentsy, the MLM, multi-level marketing company, network marketing company, whatever you want to call it, they are restructuring their pay. And with that restructure comes an essential pay cut for a lot of the consultants, as well as what seems to be the start of a mass exodus. Now, we could say that this all started with the Delkeys who I covered that were let go from Scentsy, but I do believe that it started way back before COVID, and COVID just kept them afloat with the influx of people joining MLMs and purchasing things online because we were all stuck at home. So anyway, with the hyper growth that happened in 2020, they're now experiencing a very severe dip, in my opinion. And I went through all of that in my last video that I will link below. With all of the information coming out, the consultants and the teams and everybody is up in arms and they have feelings, rightfully so. A lot of them are starting to maybe see the light of what really happens within MLMs, especially when they meet the saturation point that Scentsy has reached. Now, I do have a lot of content coming up of the team calls and of the consultants putting out videos about how they feel and the truth about what's going on behind the scenes. We're gonna react to all of that. Today, we're starting with one of the teams that I've reacted to in the past. This individual, she's somebody that I really respected when I was in Scentsy, and she's also somebody who I think is truly a good person. I don't think she has a bad bone in her body. We may have differing opinions on that, and that's fine. I don't think that just because somebody is in an MLM and displaying the behaviors that are encouraged within an MLM, I don't think that makes them a bad person right off the bat. I think this person is a very good person, and I just want to make that clear because I did meet them once way back in the day. They probably don't even remember me, which is fine. I can say from experience that she was a very kind person. Now, with that said, she is displaying some cult-like behavior in this team call that we are reacting to today.
I'll make the popcorn.
And we're gonna get right the f into it. But first, let me read the disclaimer. Oh. You guys, Miss Winnie is camera shy. I'm gonna show you where she is. Don't judge me on just the fact that this is what looks good most of the time, but the rest of the room, not so much. Don't judge me on my broken lamp. She moved all the way to the corner. I think she's camera shy. Maybe she'll get used to it and come back.
Just get on with it already.
But anyway, now again, for why you're really here. We're getting the f into it.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Together We Scent family of teams and Flash family of teams. And all of our amazing adoptees. Adoptees? Is that the right?
No, gross.
Adoptees?
Still no.
Is it? Adopt.
This thing on?
Well, yeah, because I guess we'd be the adopters. So,
Oh, for the love of God.
all of you, welcome. This call is open to anyone that wants to spend Tuesday evenings with us. I don't think it's evening, though, in Australia for Jocelyn. It looks like it's sunny and maybe lunchtime. But we are really happy that you're here. Thank you. Let me hold on just a second. We've got a couple of people in the waiting room, and I forgot to co-host. So one moment. Okay. All right. There's co-hosting. And
we're back!
people are still coming in. Look at us. Look at us with the lots of people on Zoom tonight. That makes me feel so good. All right, so let's just start this out. First, tonight, the only announcement since we talked last Tuesday is the additional Valentine collection that launched.
Now, before she moves on from the Valentine's Day collection, talking about that, I think it's great that she's talking about the products. Something I wanted to point out is the fact that these calls aren't usually started out like this. Her calls are usually more high energy, more exciting, more let's talk. We're here to talk about Scentsy. You can tell that there is a sombering mood in the air on this Zoom call because of what's happening within Scentsy. And I am going to go ahead and speculate that her team is probably voicing their opinion, or at least trying to voice their opinion in their Facebook group. They all have their own individual Facebook groups or some kind of community group somewhere where they can talk. And they're likely in that group where they're supposed to be safe, voicing their opinion. Now, I know that the people within these Scentsy groups, not this one specifically, but within different teams and different groups, I've heard from them saying that
I don't like that they're doing this. Why are they doing this? I'm not going to be able to keep my status as a consultant. I'm going to have to leave.
they're getting in trouble for saying that. And this is the problem. This is the cult-like behavior that comes in when we're talking about MLMs and this specific situation. And something that particular thing that keeps popping up in my DMs that people are telling me about, it keeps reminding me of everything that happened with LuLaRoe. I'm sure it happens within a lot of MLMs, but because I'm hearing it so much, it's very similar to the behavior that would happen when somebody would speak out about their feelings when they were in LuLaRoe and how they were not feeling like it was sustainable or they were going to be able to make it work. If they made those types of comments, those comments were deleted and they were reached out to by their leader or their upline or whatever and spoken to about that situation. And from what I hear from these consultants who are telling me that things are happening, this is what is happening within these groups right now. So anyway, that was a tangent, all to say that this call is way more somber than any of her other calls.
Or that was added. And so that came out yesterday. Everything else you've probably seen from the news tab or heard. If you earned Cheers to 20 years, either the 9 months or the 12 months, that official list is on the workstation. So if you'd like to see your name in lights, the official listing is on your news tab.
Yay, your name is on the website. If I'm going to be recognized at my job, cool, right? They do these recognitions every so often. But when Scentsy is doing it month after month after month and all you're getting is your name on the website, what's the point?
I don't think there is one.
Typically, businesses or companies, larger companies that do these types of awards, are giving them out at some kind of dinner or as a bonus or something of that sort, not your name on a website that is behind a paywall for consultants only. The math ain't mathin'.
Another announcement that was made or news article that was posted was the Any World Tour with walk-ins. Any World Tour that is not sold out does have walk-in availability. And so that information, if that
World Tour, if you're not familiar with that, is sort of like their mini convention. They have their big convention like all MLMs have in the summertime, usually June or July. And then in the late winter, early spring months, they go on these smaller convention type gatherings at usually like hotels and things like that. Just like convention, but at a much smaller scale. They will do different local world tours for consultants in different states. So like in Colorado, they had one in Denver. They do them in like Chicago, all the main cities. They go and they gather consultants from that city and ask them to put on free trainings for the company because they're qualified somehow. And that is what World Tour is.
pertains to you is on the news tab. So if you are in a walk-in situation, check your location, see if it's sold out. And if it isn't, then you have walk-in availability. Okay. Now, before we start tonight's call, I want to call on Rachel Pouget.
Before we start tonight's call, we need some toxic positivity is basically what's going to happen right now. In my opinion, of course.
Share with us the experience that she had yesterday. I think it was yesterday, Rach. Yesterday or Sunday. I want her to share an experience with all of you and her excitement. So, Rach.
Hey.
Hi. Can I
Hi.
spotlight you? Yes.
Oh,
I'm going
Lord.
to.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
doing it.
Oh, this is scary.
No,
Oh
you're
my
so
God, that got real
stop it.
big real quick.
You're so
Okay.
cute. You look adorable. Okay, go.
So yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday. So I had kind of talked to Melissa. I during the month of December, was very just in tune with other things going on. I was very out of the Scentsy world. I would keep in contact. I'd see what was going on, but it was not my best month business wise. And I kind of already knew that going into January, I wanted to change it and get back to where I typically am. But I was like really having a hard time like throwing myself back into it because I would always find other things to occupy my time.
Oh, is that the time freedom? You were focusing on other things, but your business fell way behind because you actually don't have time freedom. News flash.
So when I talked to Melissa recently, I told her on the phone, I was like, I'm getting back into it. I have all a list of things I want to do. I keep putting it off. I got to make the time. So one of the things I like to utilize is project broadcast. It just really works with my customers. They like it. It's quick. But I've been realizing since I haven't really been working my business in the past like month, I'm paying for messages that I'm not sending. I'm just wasting my money. So, I decided yesterday was going to be the day. I was going to change it. I was going to spend the time on project broadcast. I was downstairs, just like doing stuff with my guys. And I was like, I'm going to send out a message to my people who I know love fragrance flowers, right? We have the Valentine's today. We have the banana nut bread. So it's like, I'm just going to shoot a message to them on project broadcast. I like kind of fancied it up. Hey, VIP fragrance flower people, blah, blah, blah. Within 30 minutes, I did $129 in PRV off of Valentine's Day fragrance flowers. And they haven't heard from me in over a month, just from reaching out to them, letting them know, hey, I know you love flowers. Hey, I wanted to share this with you. You're part of my like flower VIP. I literally had 2 or 3 of them respond within a couple minutes saying, oh my God, thank you for thinking of me. Or like, it means so much. So I did that. Right before that, though, what I was kind of laughing at, I did an event back in 2023, you guys, September of 2023. I met a lady who recently lost her Scentsy consultant because she left Scentsy, and her favorite bar of all time was Thunderstorm. I, at the time, was able to get her some through like the ISO post of getting her Thunderstorm wax. I got her like 7 or 8 bars. She's like, if it ever comes back, please let me know. It is the only scent like me and my husband use. I was like, okay, so it's back for Bring Back My Bar. And it came to my mind when I sat down and I saw her name on my project broadcast. Now, mind you, she gets my messages when I send them out in project broadcast, but she doesn't click any of the links. I never hear from her. So, whatever. I decided that I'm going to, even though I haven't talked to her since 2023, I'm going to reach out to her. I'm going to message her and let her know that Thunderstorm Wax is available. I'm going, whatever. So I messaged her. I'm like, hey, not sure if you remember me.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Oh, goody.
You look annoyed.
Yeah.
Because everybody here loves a good role play.
Sorry, that's the wrong meeting.
And since I have the conversation, why don't you be you and I'll be her?
Do I need to pull this up? Do I need to make this official?
Yes, because instead of her just telling you what happened, let's see how it happened.
Okay, hold on. Let me get back to this.
Oh boy, here we go. First of all, she's laying out this scenario. This is just normal business so far. So far. I have an idea of what's coming next. It may take a turn for the worse. If you were in a legitimate sales position where you were getting a guaranteed paycheck of some sort, whether it's half commission, half salary, or all commission, or all salary, whatever it is, you're not going to sit in a meeting and hear somebody get spotlighted because they remembered to follow up with a customer who liked a scent that went away and is now back. That is normal business practice.
And I had the conversation not because I hacked into Rachel's phone, but because she was so excited.
I did.
So, okay.
No, I just screenshot everything and just send it to Melissa. I don't tell her. I just screenshot stuff. Okay.
Well, what I like is that you had said you haven't talked to her.
Yeah.
Well over
I
a
haven't
year.
talked to her since 2023, September of 2023, you guys.
So here's
It's
the
been a long
message that
time.
you sent.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put Melissa. I'm not gonna use her name. We're gonna say, hey Melissa. Hey Melissa, this is Rachel, the Scentsy girl you met at such and such in 2023. I'm not sure if you remember me or not, but after meeting you, I was able to find you some Thunderstorm wax bars. Although it was a long time ago, I haven't forgotten about you, asking me to let you know if it ever comes back. Well, I'm happy to tell you that it's finally back for this month. If you still love the scent and or need a restock, let me know. I'm still always here to be your Scentsy girl and help you with your fragrance needs. And then I did like a link straight to Bring Back My Bar so she could see it. I don't hear back from her. Maybe like 15, 20 minutes later, don't hear back from her. I get an email that she went on my website and bought 12 bars of wax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
Thank you so much. I just bought 12 bars.
Hi, I just got the notification on your order. Yay, thank you. I'm so happy for you. I was hoping you would remember me.
You were my savior. My husband only has a couple cherished cubes left, so he was like, buy them now. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you were down to the wire. This is perfect timing. You are so welcome. Feel free to use those 2 cubes now. More is on the way.
I seriously think he just turned it on.
Ha ha ha. I love that. I know what it's like to find a scent, become obsessed with it, and then get sad when it goes away. So when I Bring Back My Bar collections come around, I'm stocking up on it all.
I definitely, okay,
Nope.
I think I'm missing.
Oh.
Well, that tracks.
She says, okay, she's like, he said to her, make sure you get enough. I'm like 12 good, and I got the thumbs up to order. So I said, you understood the assignment perfectly. So then I was like, Scentsy Club, right? Because this is like a big month. So I said, also too, something to keep in mind is Scentsy Club. It's our subscription that features the Always Get My Bar program, where they will literally make your favorite bar all year around, regardless of whether or not it's available for the public. And then I just said, for example, one of my all-time favorite scents is Banana Nut Bread. I have it in my club for over 2 years, and they send me 4 bars of it every 3 months, even though it's retired. I get 10% off my subscriptions over 30 and a reduced shipping rate, something that may be perfect for your husband's thunderstorm obsession.
I definitely might be interested in that because it really is the only bar that's completely irreplaceable in this house, and you crushed the assignment.
I said, "Aw, thank you. I always want to be the Scentsy consultant I wanted when I was a customer. I love, love, love a good smelling home and love even more helping others make their homes great. Just let me know about the club. We would just have to get you signed up while the bar's still available so sometime in January." And then I just explained to her, but she wanted to skip it and not get it right away. She messaged me today. I didn't tell you that part. She messaged me today and she's like, reach out to me the last day of January because her stuff's already shipped. By the way, hello, Scentsy warehouse. Woo woo. Woo-hoo! So she messaged me. She's like, reach out to me the last day of January. Let's get it set up. If you could just help me, that'd be great. Like, I'm all for it.
All from a follow-up text because you remembered about Thunderstorm and you haven't talked to her in over a year.
All from standard business practice. Bravo. Yay. Gold star for you. Your name on the workstation website that's behind a paywall. Yay. Go fucking you.
A year and a half. Literally.
Yeah.
So that happened. And then, mind you, right before that, I sent a message about these fragrance flowers. So all within an hour, I gained, gosh, what is it? What's 129 plus 60? There you go, 189. I earned 189 PRV all within an hour. And it's like, my gosh, what I've been sitting on, what I've been.
189 PRV is roughly between $37 and $47. I mean, it is money, right? That's before taxes. And also, you can find something around your house and list it for more on Marketplace and make more just by doing that. Way less time and effort, and you made a quick buck just by selling something you weren't using anymore and somebody else needed. This isn't giving you a good look. You're making $47 and before taxes, mind you, before taxes, through standard business practices, and you're getting spotlighted.
Is that a real word?
Spotlit on a team call. That should be a red flag.
All it takes is just for me to sit down and be intentional with your business. I know what it's like to be busy, you guys. I get it. I'm a mom. I'm a travel baseball mom. I know y'all know what that means. Like, I'm busy, right? But like I told Melissa, it's funny. This is what happens when you use Project Broadcast after paying for it. Like, I should use it more. Like, there's my lesson. So
thank you.
Reach out to those small people because you never know where it can take you.
Did you really say that right now?
The small people. The small people. Reach out to the small people. You never know when they're gonna make your bonus even better. Reach out to the motherfucking small people. Ma'am, sit down.
Well, and I want you guys to know too, Rach, thank you so, so much. I appreciate you. I'm removing the spotlight of myself too because I like to look at your guys' faces. This right here and what Rachel just said is testament to when you only have a small amount of time to work your business in a given day, your best opportunity to maximize your time is to do some follow-up, is to reach out to customers. If you only have a certain amount of time, your best return on your time investment is reaching out to people. And here's a couple things I want to point out. Okay, first, this was a really big deal for Rachel to share. So I want to give her kudos, huge kudos. You allow me to put you on the spot and push you quite often, and I appreciate you, but I also value that you trust me so much. So thank you. Second is I wanted that conversation to be shared because I wanted you to see the personal connection and relationship building that was going on in that conversation. That is all the difference. That is all the difference. She did not end it with, I just got the notification that came through. Thanks for your order. It continued to where now it was, she was building rapport. They were giggling with each other over Thunderstorm and her being a savior and her crushing the assignment, to message me on the last day of the month to get my Scentsy Club set up. I cannot tell you, we couldn't have constructed a better example or a better real life experience than exactly what you just did. And
now I will say something about this because I have addressed this in the past. The relationship building that she's referring to, something like the conversation that was just brought up, isn't so much the things that are problematic. It's when the consultants are diving into these people's personal lives and learning their kids' like favorite pastimes and when their customer's mother's birthday is. Like, those things are a waste of your time when you're trying to make a return on your investment. And what you're doing is just wasting your time and losing more money, because those relationships are not what you need to build a business. The relationship that just transpired, that was just kind of displayed for these people on this call, is a business relationship where you're talking about how the scent that they wanted to buy was one of their favorite and they're going to put it in their warmer right now. There was nothing weird about it. There was nothing like, when's your surgery? How is your father's hemorrhoid? What? We don't need to get that in detail, and these consultants do sometimes. It's just too much. So anyway, back to it.
And it's like you said, you took an hour to do some income producing follow-up, and it income produced $189 for you.
No, it didn't income produce $189 for her. It income produced between $37 and $47 before taxes.
Can you share really quickly, Rach, what you sent for the fragrance flower? What got you the fragrance flower sale?
I'm just gonna tell you like specifically just like what hold on. Sorry, let me get to it. What I did was I just went on Canva, and I grabbed pictures of our Valentine's flowers and like a normal one for Bring Back My Bar, and I collaged it together, kind of showing how it can like change pink over time. Now my VIP for my fragrance flowers is only like 5 or 6 people. It's not a lot. But I just said, hey, Melissa, you are getting this very special message because you are one of my fragrance flower VIPs. I couldn't let this month go by without sharing the Valentine's Day flowers and our January exclusive scent from the infamous Bring Back My Bar collection. And then I just said banana nut bread with the scent description, or just a scent description, and just said how it's my personal favorite. And then for Valentine's Day, apricot cloud, and how it's 3 flowers into 1 bouquet, peppered with kisses, sweetheart sugar cookie. My favorite part about our Valentine's Day collection is that the flowers turn pink over time. So cute. If you're ready for a flower refresh, let me know. And then I put 2 links to the fragrance flower banana nut bread and the fragrance flower Valentine's. I do have to be very, very honest with you. I have not gotten my Valentine's Day collection stuff in. I haven't. Is she on? Because I was gonna say I don't know, but I had some of them ask me what it smelled like, and I'm not gonna tell them, oh, I don't know, I've never smelled it before. So good old friend Jack from south of Detroit did a review on what they smell like, and so I watched the video and I said, listen, I don't have mine in yet, but I have a friend, and I sent scent descriptions and said how my friend thought they smelled and what I think it would smell like. Boom. That's it. I just be honest with them, and I have to tell you, the Thunderstorm girl told me, she goes, I'm telling you, I've been through a couple Scentsy consultants. I've never heard of Scentsy Club. People have never reached out to me years after meeting me. They haven't remembered me. I've had to chase them down.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Chase them down. Never is there a situation where you have to chase down a Scentsy consultant. All you have to do is go to Scentsy.com and they automatically put you with a consultant. So when you hear a Scentsy consultant tell you that people have trouble finding consultants, you can tell them that's a load of bullshit because they can order right off the website and it automatically puts your order with a Scentsy consultant.
Like, it's all about just like the difference. And I think that's kind of what sets us apart and Together We Scent and people who are under Melissa or are under Anna, because it's you really like, this is so much more than just like money. This is so much more than PRV, right? It's like making somebody feel special and making them feel important and valued, and we can give that to them by being Scentsy consultants. You know, it's really going the extra mile and just not looking at this like it's a something, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rach. All right. So that was an excellent little hear from the field consultant corner this evening. Rachel, thank you. Here's what I would like to know next. How many of you, and let's do this, drop it in the chat. How many of you watched Dan Orchard's Zoom explaining the changes?
We did. That video was long as shit, and that man is boring as f, but I'll link that video in the description if you want to go watch it.
Don't be shy. You can raise your hand, you can drop it in the chat. It was emailed to everyone, to all consultants. It is posted. Well, I shared it on the Together We Scent page today with the link. I'm really trying to push everybody watching it to understand the changes, understand or to understand the reasoning behind the changes. If you saw his slideshow, and for any of you that haven't seen it, let me recap very, very quickly and say, Angie Vance, that scares me. She hasn't watched it, but she has read enough of other people's posts to get the changes. I just hope they're the good posts. I hope they're the positive ones.
Why is that, Melissa? Because there's not very many positive ones. I can't imagine why there would be. Y'all are being f***ed up the ass and you don't want to admit it because you're at the top. And now you're in a position where if you lose everything with Scentsy, you lose all of your income and you're trying to save yourself. And like I said, she is a great individual. She's very kind, but I'm pretty sure she hasn't seen the light yet. She's not grasping the fact that everybody at the top who's hosting these Zoom calls, who's hosting these meetings, who's putting the videos out that's getting a lot of streams, a lot of views, they're the ones that are freaking the out because this is their main source of income. This is how they pay their bills. They're in a similar position to Allison Delkey, who I reacted to twice after she and her husband were unexpectedly let go from Scentsy as consultants and they lost their income. So now these people are all facing the same reality that Allison and her husband had to face, and they're freaking out because they know that if they don't keep their team or if they don't encourage their team to keep recruiting and keep hosting parties and keep selling, they're done.
You're fired!
But basically, we went from very quickly, we went from consultants bringing in about, on average, 12 new customers a year to Scentsy. And very quickly, we have slid to where consultants are bringing in on average of 4 new consultants per year to Scentsy. And that slide, now to many of us, 12 sounds low. And if you are newer to Scentsy, then your customers may all be new. And so 12 may sound like, well, my gosh, I've brought in 20 to 30 new customers. And
So she did say bringing in consultants. She does mean customers. The average went from, in 2018, they claim it went from 12 new customers per consultant a year to 4 new customers per consultant a year. I went over this in a video, and I think that this could be the reason why. Again, it has to do with the saturation. I will find the clip and put it here where I brought up how many McDonald's there are in the United States compared to Scentsy consultants in the United States.
So I'm editing my video that's going to come out later this afternoon, finally. After a week of not posting, I'm so sorry. But it's a Scentsy video, and there was mention of how Scentsy is oversaturated. And I just randomly was like, let me look up how many McDonald's there are compared to Scentsy consultants. So I look it up, and there are only 13,528 McDonald's restaurants in the United States as of February 13th, 2024. Where we're talking about Scentsy, a fragrance company that is not nearly as, I guess, of a household name as McDonald's is. There are over 300,000 independent Scentsy consultants. But it's not oversaturated.
The fact that there were an astronomically higher amount of Scentsy consultants in the United States than McDonald's, that tells me that anybody having an easy time bringing in more than 4 customers a year, if they can even get 4, is so unlikely. You're oversaturated. That's the problem. Do you think that any kind of franchise company would let a franchisee open a McDonald's right next to another McDonald's because there's enough room for all of us? No, there's not. Business is business, and when you have too much of one thing in one area, it's not going to do well. The supply and demand isn't there.
Somebody like me, I really have to dig in and think about how many are new customers versus how many orders I get that are reorders from my current customer base of 17 years. So new customer is legitimately a person who has never, their name does not show up anywhere else on the Scentsy system, in the Scentsy databases, not by another consultant, not by they bought 10 years ago, but this is strictly brand new to Scentsy. Their information doesn't show up anywhere. Well, here's the thing. It sometimes that data leaves a gap or an opening, because there's a lot of times where a customer that's brand new will come to me and she'll end up buying something that I have on hand, and I don't turn around and reorder it and put her information in the system as a new customer. Now, I've gotten much better about doing that, and in fact, almost 100%.
Maybe that's because you're not supposed to be holding inventory. That is against compliance within Scentsy. But you'll see so many consultants that do these big fairs and shows because they got in early and got their spots in the big fairs and shows have a ton of inventory, and nothing is done about it because they're the higher ups and they're bringing in the most money for Scentsy right now.
Doing that since Scentsy said to us in the fall that we need to be better with tracking our customers, keeping track of our customers' information, and loading it into the workstation so that Scentsy is using proper statistics. Okay, this is all boring, right?
It might all be boring, but it's actual stuff that has to do with owning an actual business that you have to deal with when you own an actual business. And the fact that most of these consultants are not going to pay attention to what she's saying when she's talking about this and still have no idea what she's even talking about is a sign that MLMs shouldn't even exist, because they are just setting people up to fail.
Allegedly.
I just wanted to make sure that you have seen Dan's Zoom because of the slideshow, and it explains why the changes are coming. Now, the part of the slideshow I want to call your attention to is we will be focusing this year, 2025, on 4 areas, and you are going to hear them over and over and over, especially because leaders like us and leaders in the field across Scentsy are going to be echoing these 4 things all year long. We need to focus on, and gosh, we've been talking about this since the fall, but we're going to really drive it home. New customer acquisition is number 1. Customer engagement, new consultant acquisition, and consultant engagement. I always think I mess it up. New customer, and then new customer acquisition, customer engagement, new consultant acquisition, consultant engagement.
So it's insanity, because they're doing the legitimate same thing they've been doing. You have to get more customers and turn them into recruits, and then baby your recruits because you need them to stay. This is not any different than what they've been doing. And that should be a sign to these consultants. If you're a current consultant trying to decide if you should run away, this is a sign. They are not changing anything. They are just pressing these consultants for more of the same so that they can get a new customer base, or as much of a new customer base as they can possibly get. Because like I said in the other video where I reacted to Dan's call, that was a fucking nightmare. These consultants are going to be salty as And right now, they are the #1 customers. They're going to lose a lot of them, and they're going to need to recuperate that money that they're losing so that they can stay in business as a non-MLM or as an affiliate model business. Do you not see it? You have to see it. Please, if you're watching this and you're a Scentsy consultant, this is what's happening. We've seen it happen. Rodan and Fields, Body, any company that has recently turned into an affiliate model, go back and watch their trainings because it's identical.
So what we're going to do moving forward, before I get into a couple meat and potatoes things, what we're going to do moving forward is on these calls, and this will begin in the first week of February. The first week of the call will have something to do with new customer acquisition. The second week of the call will be something talking about that falls under the umbrella of customer engagement. So whether that is talking about VIP pages or engagement posts or follow-up or anything that could fall under the umbrella of engaging our customers, that will fall in week 2. Week 3 will be about new consultant acquisition. So those will be the opportunity, the business opportunity, conversations and ideas surrounding sponsoring. And then the 4th week of the call will be consultant engagement. And the 4th week of the call will be, now don't just show up to the 4th week, you guys. Seriously, I see your faces and I know who gets on these calls. FYI, I know who gets on these calls every single week. I know. So I'm just letting you know.
Oh my
God, really? Oh my God.
Is that a threat? What the fuck? I know who's on these calls, but this is your business, so come at your leisure.
That's what she said. That's what.
Pause. I just said that. Carrying on.
Vanessa, I'm looking at you because I love that you're on tonight. No, I wasn't calling you out. I'm just happy to see you. But the 4th week is about consultant engagement, all consultant engagement. How do I work to engage you? And how do you work to engage your team? And how do you show up for the rest of the community? The engagement part is so important. And I always believe that we should have fun while we're engaging. And so we'll be doing a lot of the mobile phone trivia nights and things like that. That would fall under that umbrella, which I love that it's the last week of the month because we can celebrate your efforts from the month. We also will be leading into end of month live. And I'm going to challenge and encourage you to try and get your downline to start attending these Zooms if they're able. And if you can't get them to on any other night, at least try to bring them along in that 4th week so that they can see that we don't just talk. I don't just sound like Charlie Brown's teacher or mom. I don't think I do on Tuesday nights, that we do fun stuff here too. And we enjoy being with each other. And I like to think that because otherwise you wouldn't get on the call or you wouldn't get on the Zoom. I know it's just to see my red cheeks and my smile. I'm being so funny tonight.
Just so hilarious.
Hey, Melissa.
Yeah,
Can I say something real quick?
please.
So I wanted to say this a little bit ago, but it didn't kind of fit in, but now it does. Those that show up, grow up.
That doesn't sound right.
And when you are consistent to our team and the team calls, your business changes. And I'm testament to that. And I just kind of wanted to say that I have committed to myself, to Together We Scent, to my team, to Melissa, and I have hardly missed any Tuesday night Zooms because I know it's so important to my business and to our community. And so it is huge.
Why, though? You just sit here and play into each other's fantasies of how this business owning life is going to be your ticket to heaven. What are we doing? We're 23 minutes in, and the only thing they covered is basic business stuff like follow up with your customers who like certain scents that are back in stock. This is a waste of people's time, in my opinion. They could be doing something that is actually earning them income, like, say, for instance, researching how to start their own virtual business, maybe some video editing. I need some of that coming up soon this year, please. Maybe some virtual assisting, maybe an Etsy shop, anything else, but trying to keep afloat in this sinking MLM business.
Huge, huge, huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Because here's the thing. When Jackie says you have to show up to grow up or show up to go up, going up can mean one order. Going up can mean one sale. Going up can mean the confidence now after hearing Rachel to reach out to customers about bring back my bar. The go up doesn't just mean, oh, I show up and I go to director. No, there's steps that happen before that. But what it does do is it continues your momentum of showing up for yourself and your business and your customers. That's what it does. Because you know the analogy. I won't bore you with the analogy, but you know anything in life, when you stop showing up to it, it is harder to get back to it. And so the Tuesday night call, one of its purposes is to hold you accountable to at least thinking about your business once a week. At minimum, I hope you think about it. Patty Wonder.
When you just said that it's easier to keep it going than to stop, that analogy by Orwell always comes into my brain about the merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round.
When you're at the park and you were a little kid and you got on that merry-go-round and you had to run and run and run and run and run, and then it got going fast enough where you could jump on and you would just ride it, whee! And then if you didn't put your foot down to keep it going, it would stop. And then you'd have to get off and run and run and run and run, where it would have been easier just to put your foot down every once in a while and push. So keep the merry-go-round going. Don't stop. You can take you can enjoy the ride for a little while, but you can't stop. So it's a lot harder to keep going again.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to look at the big picture, because here's the thing, okay? And I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly. There are different ways. Two things can be true at once. When you're giving an analogy like this, you have to make sure that it makes sense, because if you're on this merry-go-round at the playground and you do run and get on it, the only way to make it go again is not you putting your leg down. For example, I spin my son on one of those when we go to the park. The point I want to make with that is that there are multiple ways to do things. And I think that Orville, who was previously one of the CEOs, he's now co-chair in Scentsy because he's saving face and putting Dan in the CEO spot, in my opinion. But anyway, I think personally that Orville sharing that and saying it in that way is manipulative, and it could be a long shot, but I just like to overanalyze shit, right? And the way I see it is he's saying this so that consultants think that there's only one way. You have to do it this way. If you don't put the foot down and keep the merry-go-round going, then it's going to stop. But what if somebody else is there helping you with the merry-go-round, helping you spin the merry-go-round? Say, for instance, an actual CEO that cares about their employees and gives them a guaranteed paycheck. That person might be there helping them spin the merry-go-round. That's all.
So I want to make sure, thanks, Patty. I want to make sure, and this is coming from all of your leaders, we want to make sure, and then we can move on from this. After seeing Dan's Zoom, after digesting the changes, is there anything that remains unclear? Is there anything that you need or want further explained? Is there anything that caused you to have any question? Because one of the things that we leaders are diving into and learning about and really taking to heart is how important transparency and listening is. Especially with regards to our team members, our downline, our friends, our peers, our community. It's very important that we have transparency and that we are good at listening. And so I wanted to make sure, if anybody, I wanted to give you the opportunity. And if you're not comfortable talking, you can drop it in the chat. Anna, watch the chat for if anything comes through. If there's anything that we can clear up for you on anything that's gone on in the past 2 weeks.
Please don't be shy. Please just let's talk about it.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, Jocelyn, please.
I'm a bit like Dan, and probably I think Patty's a bit like this, numbers. And so when I was watching Dan's live, explaining the changes, and he was saying about the amount of active consultants, and if you looked at the numbers, there's about 26,000 active consultants. So if you times that by 12 customers per year, that they were bringing in 2018, and I wasn't around then, was 312,000 customers a year. So if you take that down to 4, that's 104,000 customers a year that we're bringing in. So the company, to maintain its sustainability, has to change. And like we've been saying on Team Wonderbar, the negativity that's out there, then they just need to move on, find something else if they can't keep going. It's about what everyone's saying. It's about that growth and about pushing yourself. And it's about, well, Tupperware here in Australia has just closed down. So, stopped. We've had a few.
I mean, bro, what are we not seeing? Listen, I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I understand what she's trying to do. And what she's trying to do is toxic positivity right now, saying that businesses need to change and you just need to start bringing in more customers. And if you're going to be negative, then you need to just leave. I'm sorry, but what do you consider negativity? The fact that people are realizing that they are getting a motherfucking pay cut and they're not happy about it? Oh, my bad. You're at the top, so you don't know what that feels like. Not yet, at least. You're about to find out from what it appears. Anyway, let's go back to her numbers. Now we're gonna redo her math for her because she is just doing some fairy tale math. This has actually nothing to do with the graph that Dan showed. So we're going to fix it for her real quick. She's referring to the fact that there was only 26,000 something consultants that were active. Dan was not when he referred to these numbers. His graph states average number of new customers per consultant, does not say active consultant or not. How many consultants are within Scentsy, you ask? I'm so happy you asked, because right there on Scentsy's website, it says they have over 300,000 consultants, of which they like to claim they support in home office. But let me remind you that they just laid off almost 100 actual employees that were there to help consultants in home office. But anyway, back to our math equation. She started the math with the 26,000 active consultants. For whatever reason, she felt like only doing those consultants. They brought in 312,000 customers when they were bringing in 12 customers per year on average. What about the other consultants? The over 200,000 consultants that you left out? Just because they're not active doesn't mean that they were not bringing any customers in. Now, we are in the United States. I am in the United States. I reside in the United States. Most Scentsy consultants also reside in the United States, being that this was where Scentsy started, and that's just usually how it goes. Now, if we are just looking at the United States of America and we are talking about all of these consultants, right? If they are bringing in 12 customers per year, you have to think just because the population is there doesn't mean anything. Now, we know that in 2023, the population of the United States was around 341,145,670 people. Let's go ahead and make sure they're all buying Scentsy. Everybody needs to buy Scentsy, right? That's not true. This is a want, not a need. You don't need this. Regardless, okay? Let's do some more math. Let's break it down even further. Now, in real market research, you want to go through and look at the realistic possibility of your market. Who's buying from you? Who is the person that wants the product or needs the product that you have? Mostly, in this case, we're talking about women. That's just the way the fragrance industry works. Most men are not out here wanting to run out and buy Scentsy wax. They're going to leave that their wives, or they're just going to buy a candle at the grocery store when they're at the grocery store. It's not that serious for them. It shouldn't be that serious for anybody, to be honest. But anyway, men are probably not going to want to buy or join Scentsy. The people that make up the 65 and older population within the United States probably aren't going to want to buy or join Scentsy unless they're supporting their granddaughter on their life fundraiser. People who are incarcerated cannot buy Scentsy. People who are non-citizens can't be included in that because they wouldn't be able to join. So that would pose a problem for you. And children can't buy or join Scentsy. So when you take all of that away, you're left with 37.9 million people to harass. Do you think 100% of that 37.9 million people want to buy or join Scentsy? Not likely. If you're lucky, maybe 50% of that 37.9 million people will want to buy or join Scentsy and have not purchased Scentsy before. You cannot keep bringing in new customers year after year when you run out of fucking people. You have too many consultants talking about it. Your street team has done the work. Get rid of it. Go into the big box stores at this point. You need to look at the real numbers when you're in a position like this. And the real numbers are not 26,000 consultants. The consultants who are not active are still probably selling or buying Scentsy. It doesn't mean that they're not bringing in new customers. Anyway, let's stop doing false hope math on these Scentsy Zoom calls. Thank you.
Years ago, I was Mary Kay, and it just stopped, like bang, it stopped. So Scentsy have taken the proactive approach.
Is that what we're calling it?
To actually make sure that it's a sustainable company for now and into the future. And I think all those negative people just can't see that. They're just too self-absorbed to actually take that proactive approach.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
And so like the numbers really surprised me, and so it just made it so easy to see why the changes have been made. When you look at that, like 104,000 customers a year, down like in five or 6 years, down from 312,000 a year, that is a huge amount of sales that have dropped. So I think the changes are wonderful, and it's just about being proactive and getting yourself out there, which I need to do myself. So,
Jocelyn, thank you so much for sharing. I think I'll speak for all of the Americans on the call. We could listen to you read us a telephone book because we love your accent so much. And that's so typical of Americans to comment on how beautiful your accent is, right? But thank you. I appreciate that. And Anna is also our resident numbers guru. And so as soon as you started throwing out numbers, she perked up a little bit because she gets excited about numbers. So
cool, get excited about numbers, but when you don't have the full picture, the numbers don't fucking matter. And these people will never, ever, ever have the full picture because they are not business owners. Dan Orchard and Heidi and Orville and Chuck Thompson, they will all have the full picture because they're behind the scenes pulling the strings and flipping the switches that you know nothing about, quite frankly.
So thank you. Okay, what's coming in the chat? Because I think I saw.
Yeah. So you did have one from Dawn. So for anybody who's watching this back, I know you can't see the chat. So Dawn was asking, I'm having some issues with a few teamies in the 5% pay drop, if not reaching the 250 PRV, because that's the new requirement for active 250 PRV rather than the 200 that we're doing now. If you don't reach the 250 to be active and you are a certified consultant, you'll still receive 20% commission on those months that you don't reach active status 250 PRV. So that's what the context is there.
The 25 even wasn't enough. Like, come the on. You're charging over $150 for some of these fucking warmers, and you're saying you can't give the consultants what they actually should be getting off of a sale? Fuck off.
And so my question was really just if they had already watched the recording that Dan had done the other day, and they have. And so a lot of that stuff is cleared up a lot with Dan's with Dan's presentation of the rationale behind all of these decisions. So
can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, that it doesn't qualify for me. I'm above that. So I guess I'm just trying to speak for them a little bit. And I have not read the contract thoroughly, so I don't clearly know what it states like you guys do. But they're throwing at me that it says that there was a lifetime promise of at certified we get 25%, and that they're taking that away from them, and that's why they want to quit.
Yes, because as I brought up in my previous video, you should never, ever in the lifetime of your business promise anybody anything for a lifetime. And that is business 101. Should have been the first red flag. Anytime you are signing a contract where it says lifetime anything, unless it's a fucking warranty, throw it away. Rip it up, throw it away. Don't do it. No business can guarantee you a lifetime of anything. Welcome to the world of business.
That's what I don't know how to go and stand up for us as a company. I don't know what to say.
So here's the thing, Scentsy did always promote that as you earn 25% for a lifetime. There's also something in the contract that says that the independent consultant agreement can change at any time.
Okay, this contract is insane.
Yeah, that part. So the consultant agreement these consultants are signing is basically a blank piece of paper. It's like a blank check that Scentsy can just go in and change at any time because the consultant signed and said, it's okay if this contract changes. I'm okay with it. Whatever the change is. It doesn't matter. Read the contract before you sign an MLM contract. When you sign on to Scentsy, you lose your social media accounts if you ever mention Scentsy on them once. You lose the ability to create your own marketing material because you have to run it through Scentsy's marketing team, who gets a guaranteed paycheck because they know what the they're doing, hopefully. And you lose a good amount of rapport with any kind of following you may have gained because now you're having to be like, oh my God, I lied. And now I have to come and tell everybody that I lied because I didn't actually read the contract that I signed.
And this change, Dawn, for the sake of the team members that are concerned about it and asking you, the change is necessary for the future health of Scentsy.
The change that's also necessary for the future health of Scentsy is that the consultants are going to be going away. The team aspect is going to be gone, and that team bonus that you're getting every month is going to be gone. It's going away. There's no lifetime guarantee of that team bonus either. It's going away because people are leaving. People are pissed. I am getting DMs. I am seeing public posts on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube of these consultants who are pissed. They don't care that they're going to get in trouble if they say something because they're over it. They're done, and they should be.
Oh, and I
And
understand. Yeah.
and no, I know you. I know you.
She's coming from a place of contractual obligations, right? And so I just want to let you know that as far as the Scentsy independent consultant contract, Section 4 outlines as changes to the agreement. Scentsy, at its sole and absolute discretion, reserves the right to update or amend any portion of the agreement. You will be notified of such changes 60 days in advance through your consultant workstation. It's your responsibility to stay informed of the latest terms of the agreement by electronically accepting this agreement or continuing your participation as an independent Scentsy consultant by accepting any bonus or commission you accept and agree to any changes that are made now or in the future. That's part of the agreement that they agreed to.
Yeah. Y'all agreed to it. So you two at the top of the pyramid making all the money, that's part of the thing you agreed to. Oh, that really sucks, doesn't it? Oh, boo. Who? Let me get my tiny violin. I am so emotionally attached to Scentsy and the bullshit that I'm getting fucking irritated and pissed off. And I'm not sorry because this has been a long time coming and I've been here getting loud about it for 2.5 years. And it's taken this long for people to actually be like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? It's time to wake up. Scentsy is not and never will be the safe MLM.
And I had a feeling that was in there somewhere, but I have not had a chance to search for that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Give me all the analytical stuff, right?
In addition to that, and I think Patty's touching on this, they are adhering to the 60 days. That has come up in question too, because in the consultant agreement, it does say that you'll be notified 60 days in advance. That 60 days does remain because the change goes into effect March 1st. However, commission for March does not run until April. So that
was something that was recently changed because Scentsy fucked up and forgot what was actually in their contract as far as things they can't just change on a whim. And the 60-day notice wasn't correct. So they did have to push back the start date from March 1st to April 1st for all of the changes to take effect for the consultants.
Are actually further out from the 60 days because that was one of the things people are saying, well, there's not enough days in between the time you announce to March 1st. And they're saying the change goes into effect March 1st. However, commissions will not even run until April 10th.
So the work that you put in March, you're going to get less money for that. But you won't get it until April, so it doesn't matter. I hate it here.
Yeah, they threw that at me too. And I was like, no, I got that one covered.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find the other one. And I just read where someone else has worked for other companies that's had this. I worked for Jamberry when they went bankrupt, and they didn't do anything like this to cover their butt. And they just let it go. And so I told Andrea, I said, I'm glad that Dan did do those statistics, because if it weren't for those statistics that he showed us, I don't think we just right here alone probably wouldn't understand, because you have to see the facts.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah, you do have to see the facts. And the fact that Chuck Thompson, a person in a C-suite, on the call, on Zoom, on his laptop, told consultants he didn't have access to the consultant count for 2018 is a big red flag. What the fuck is happening? Your own person in the C-suite told you they don't have access to information they should know off the top of their head, and you're just like,
Okay, cool. Get back to us. It's fine.
fuck that. No, you should know it. And the fact that you don't tells me that I am piecing the fuck out, because you probably do know. You just don't want to tell us because it'll fuck with the numbers, and more consultants might see through your bullshit of you pretending to be transparent. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Bullshit. It's always been bullshit.
He's an angry elf.
You bet, Dawn. Always. Always.
I mean, and at the end of the day, if we're encouraging people to sell an extra 50 PRV, this is US dollars, of course, but they're going to receive $62.50 in commission rather than the $25 or the $50 that they would have received on the original active plan. So at active, as a certified consultant, they're going to get $50 on $200 in 200 PRV in sales. Or now, if you're being encouraged to sell 250, you're going to be making an extra $12.50 a month.
Oh my God, $12.50 a month. I'm going to get me a fountain soda from McDonald's.
And year over year, you're looking at, an extra $150 over the term of a year if you're just active every month. So that's actually really cool. It's good.
I actually took it to like a lesser amount, like when in 2017 when it went up, because I joined in 2015, when it went up from 150 to 200, it had to be every 4 months you had to have that order, the 200 in. So everybody was like, so here we have 200 to 250, but it's once a year. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 50 PRV. It's 50 for the whole year. Like, sell something at Christmas, man.
However, if you do have a team below you, you have to reach that 250 PRV every 4 months. And if you want your bonus, you still have to hit that 500 PRV. As far as I know, they haven't changed that yet, but give it time. I truly think they're not taking the time to change anything else in the compensation plan because it's going away anyway. They're going to be affiliate model or big box store. There's not going to spend the time changing more than giving you a pay cut on the compensation plan because it's going away altogether, in my opinion.
Like, it's just, I'm like, are you actually grasping that even if you're not doing it every single month and you're that one time a year person, it's once a year, not once every 4 months.
Just this year, though, because you probably won't have to do it next year when Scentsy goes under. In my opinion, I have to keep saying that. I'm sorry, guys.
And I love that comes from two different perspectives, right? That's a perspective of somebody who's like, man, that 250 once a year is going to be hard. Those are for those people who are really only getting active a couple of times a year. And I'm coming from a place of, if you're trying to be active every month, look at how much more money you will make in the long term. So I think that those are both really important places to have a good perspective of and how to seek understanding of what other people's concerns are.
Yeah. Rachel, you have your hand up.
So, and this doesn't have to do with consultant and PRV. I'm going off on it. So pricing wise, starting March 1st, to my understanding, like buy 5, get 1 free. If you go on the workstation, it's kind of like a perk for the customer to come to you. And if you can do buy 5, get 1 free in the workstation. But say Melissa goes on my website because she's part of a party that I'm doing, and she goes on my website and she buys 6 bars of wax, she's not going to get the buy 5, get 1 free. Instead, she's going to pay $6 each, but then get 10% off. Is that what I'm understanding, or am I?
Yeah, essentially you get punished if you don't physically contact a consultant and let them know you want to buy a 6-pack of bars so that you get that 6th one free. Otherwise, you're just getting the 10% off. And I would gladly pay 10% more to not have to be hounded by a consultant to join a candle company.
Right. So she said $3, right? So I mean $3.60 or whatever it is. So if the $3 is that big of a difference to somebody that they really like are upset over the buy 5 get 1 free, realistically we're talking about a $3 savings. So
realistically, yeah, and it's still a savings. So have several seats. I'm sure you're worried about your income right now. Other people are too. Every little bit adds up. $5 is $5. I want it back in my pocket.
They can come to you and have a discussion, and you can have a better opportunity to have those conversations with your customers now. So I think that's,
I mean, and I guess in a way too, it gives us an opportunity to upsell. I don't know if I love that word, but it, like upsell for maybe something else if they do contact us, because even if it's someone a part of a party and say Melissa lives in Texas and it needs to get sent to her, I can still do direct shipping on my side. Correct. So it's really okay. Yep. But on the other hand too, I've seen in a group, I'm not going to mention it, but a Facebook group, that it looks like some prices are decreasing. So it looks
Yes, because it's opening the opportunity for things like a pick 6 on oils where we wouldn't have had that
Okay.
before. So now you can get 10
okay.
pack of 6
And
oils.
Oh yeah, there's the silver lining. There's more opportunities to buy more combine and save packages.
And in
Okay.
like the Scentsy system, everybody always wanted a warmer that was higher priced than the ones in the graph. So then they didn't get the deal. So now it doesn't matter how much the warmer cost. They still get, if they buy the warmer with 6 bars, it's 10% off.
Yep.
And
So
it's
it was
not
like
an
they're
air.
buying a warmer. It would be a good idea to be like, hey, let's grab 6 bars of wax. You can get it on sale for 10% off. Maybe not on sale, but you can get it for 10% off.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. I get
So
it.
much
Yes.
more simple. It's so much more simple.
It is
Mhm.
much more simple because think about it. You had the $55 warmer and 3 bars, and that was this much. And you had the $50 warmer and 3 bars, and it was this much. And you're trying to remember, okay, this one was a $6 discount. This one was a $4 discount. This one was it's so much easier to just say warmer, 6 bars, 10% off. Now, when you are entering it into your workstation, and we will have information on this when it comes pertinent to the time. When you're entering it on the workstation, there will be a specific code to enter to you have to put in, is it still going to be the 6 PK? No.
No. So you will start putting in your things and it will auto bundle for you with the discount.
That is contradictory to what I heard.
That's what Dan told us on stage in Cancun.
Okay. Dan told us on the SSD call that you have to put the buy 5 get 1 free code in to get it. So
for the wax,
Dan said on the call that there's a code. So none of you even know what's going on. And Dan is giving everybody different information. Do I have to say it? But I will. Red flag.
Yes, but not for
yes, for the
Scentsy
wax
system. Oh, okay.
Sorry,
No, I
I should have been clear. I should have been clear. On the workstation, if you just start adding bars, it will not auto bundle them to the buy 5 get 1 free. You will have to put in the buy 5 get 1 free. And I would imagine it's probably going to be the same as it is right now. The 6, to me, it's still 6 PK, but 6. But just know on your workstation, you can't just individually add bars and expect that the buy 5 get 1 free will happen. Okay. Great questions. Is there any others?
I did want to say something else about what Dawn said something and it joggled my brain a little bit. And it was because of the things in the chat. I think it was from Brandy's comment. But one of the things that they talked about while we were at leadership was Scentsy is still in the black. So they're not in trouble. They haven't got to that point yet. They're smart enough to be proactive enough to look at the signs to make the adjustments needed so they stay in the black and not in the red.
Yeah, and they're playing you like a fucking fiddle while they do it. Them getting back in the green is getting rid of the consultant force. They don't want to pay out the team bonuses anymore. They can't afford to because that will put them in the red. But you're not seeing it. You're not going to see it until they come to you that day and say, we're affiliate only. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I had no idea.
And the only debt they have, they said, is chosen debt because it was something they had to buy and they put some, but if they wanted to pay it off tomorrow, they could.
Chosen debt, but if they wanted to pay it off tomorrow, they could. That's the biggest load of bullshit. Give us the actual paperwork. If you're letting these people walk around saying they're business owners, show them the shit that they need to know. Show them the graphs that are really important, not the ones that you made on fucking Canva. Show us the real numbers.
So that right there is rare. And because Heidi and Orville are the sole owners of the company and they don't have investors that just see the first sign of whatever and run, that makes it stronger. So I don't know, there was just something that was said and it just kind of jiggled my brain. And so I just wanted to put that out, that we're not in trouble. We are simply making adjustments so that we don't get into trouble.
Yep. Ahead of time.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing, ahead of time. Because most companies, and this is coming straight from Dan Orville's Chuck's mouth, most companies wait until it's too late to try to make a change. And so being able to see down the line and know we have to shake some things up. And realistically, here's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. Us selling. I mean, plain and simple, that's what it comes down to. So we also can't be mad at Scentsy for making changes if we ourselves are not doing what's needed to keep Scentsy going. If that makes sense, like this is all interconnected and interrelated. And so, it's funny to me, not funny, I don't want to say that. The consultants that are having the hardest time with it are the consultants that are barely buying any Scentsy in 12 months.
Barely buying because they are the number one customer. If they can't find customers, that's probably because they were lied to and told it was so easy, or they were brought on as a hobbyist and now they can't even afford to be a hobbyist because they raised the requirements.
And they're the ones having the hardest time with it because it changes their behavior. Our behavior that are accustomed to having sales every month or being active every single month, our behavior is not changing much.
That's not what it is, Melissa. It comes down to the fact that it's oversaturated. You cannot find new customers. There are customers who already have consultants they buy from. There are customers who just buy whenever. And then there are people who don't want to buy it. It's not going to be that simple for every single person that you pulled into this grift to find 12 customers a year, let alone 4.
Other than we need to up the ante a little bit, and every one of us that I know of, because I know all of you for the most part, will say, yeah, I'm here for it. I can do $50 more. And if you're a leader that's already been selling $2,000 per month, I'm not saying it's easy to get an additional 500, but I will say that I have wired myself into my goal setting to hit that 2,000 in a month. This pushes me and I'm here for it. This causes me to strive. So just like the consultant who is having a tough time and will have to push to go from 200 to 250, for me being a 2,000 seller, I need to challenge myself and push to go from 2,000 to 2,500.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I said I do really like her, but I'm not holding back anymore. I told myself in 2025, I'm going to say how I feel and I'm going to stand behind it because it's how I feel. I'm not attacking her as a person, but respectfully, just shh, because literally you're grasping at straws. You're all out of customers. You're out of customers. A new consultant coming on, having to reach $250 in sales compared to you having to reach your 2,000, believe it or not, is probably much harder for that person to get to the 250 because you, sister, you got in real early and snatched up all the customers. This one that just got in and has to hit the 250 to become active, she got in just now because you recruited her, and all the customers that she was going to go get are yours or her friends or her neighbors, or her child's teacher, or her child's Cub Scout leader. All of those people are already selling Scentsy or buying Scentsy from somebody else. This is where the problem lies, and this is what's happening.
I'm just as willing as the person going from 200 to 250 I'm just as willing as that person that steps up and says, I can do it. I'll do it alongside you to the tune of 500. And so everything aligns. The 250 to be active, the 250 is the minimum party tier, the 2,500 per month times 12 gets you the annual sales award. And I apologize because Jocelyn, I apologize. We speak so much in US dollars around here. So I appreciate your grace in that. But, everything lines up and everything is more neatly tied together, more simplistic, and it's going to make us better for it. So, Nicole.
I was just going to say kind of what you just said, though, anyway. A lot of the people that you are seeing a little bit bewildered over this are those who are scraping by as it is. And so they're like, how the heck am I going to make that happen? But it really is, I think, lining all of us up as leaders and as non-leaders for great success, really, if you think about it, because more money is on the line for us. The more we're selling, the more we're making. So if we have a bigger goal to meet at the bare minimum, all it's going to do is give us more money for now. But then also, if we're somebody who is looking for, annual sales or monthly sales goals, now it's 2,500 or 200. You know what I'm saying? 2,500, yes, 2,500. It's automatically setting us up for annual sales, just like you said. And so like it's already setting us up for success. So now we're getting that extra money each month because we're automatically getting a minimum of 2,500 ideally. I mean, some months we may fall short and that's okay, make up for it in other months, but ultimately though, later we're going to get that $1,000 bonus on top of it. So like it's kind of just paying us now, short term, long term. And
essentially, they're all on this call, rambling on and on, trying to polish shit. You cannot polish this shit. It's shit. And no matter how many times y'all are getting on these team calls, trying to turn it and spin it into a positive, it's not a positive. No matter how many times you say remain positive, that is toxic positivity. This is not good. This is bad. This sucks. And people are allowed to acknowledge that. And they should freely and openly without getting in trouble with compliance with their business.
In the middle, you know, I think the changes are good changes.
Yep. I've said this over and over, and we're wrapping up here, so stick with us. I've said this over and over. What matters to me is that my always get my bars are around for a very, very, very long time. That is really important to me because I can't imagine life without my Scentsy.
Nobody take away Cambridge. Don't do it.
Nobody take away anything that's in my club. And how many of you are loving is it petals and peaches or peaches and petals? How many of you are loving it? Because that's going in my club.
Add to club.
Add to club. That has been an add to club for many people. I love it.
You can warm that one in Michigan.
I just don't even know how to wrap this up because I'm so irritated. And I shouldn't be because I know that current consultants are opening their eyes. I know it. There are some in my DMs. There are some that I hear from other ways. They're getting it. So I have to keep reminding myself, but I apologize for how passionate I got about this call. I do, again, think that the individual who is running this call, the top leader, I think she is a genuinely great person. I think that she has been in for a while. And she is not yet seeing, or maybe she is and not vocalizing it. She's not yet seeing what's happening. I wish her the best and I hope that she sees it soon. And if she watches this is not aimed towards you. I've met you once before and you are a very kind person. I have nothing bad to say about you. Just the Scentsy and the MLM business model is what I fucking hate. And it just so happens that you're a leader in there. So anyway, it's time for our palate cleanser. TikTok hates your bullshit, and TikTok is still here in the US for now at least. So that's the name we're keeping.
What doesn't kill you gives you trauma, makes life a whole lot harder, but you got that kick-ass dark humor.
Seriously. Like, you guys, the amount of trauma that it takes to get to a place of dark humor is probably not okay, but I'm very grateful for the dark humor in the world. Anyway, as always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.
Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my ride today.